So
anyway.
Charles, my biggest concern is Wednesday. Am I going to get to the hospital for my surgery?
Oh, you'll get to at least you won't have to worry about weather, right? I mean,
Wednesday. See all the sleet in the GFS?
We'll have to look at that. I was thinking that we should warm up well past that in time.
Oh, it looks like it's I think it's a warm advection sleet event.
Okay. All right. We're going to look at that. I kind of blew right through that thinking that we were going to shoot right through the precip type issue without having to have, well, let's look at it. So we'll get there. All right. Let me figure out how to,
okay.
Yeah. Here, let me figure out how to share my screen and then
I'll mute myself so you don't have to hear me.
But you can interject anything you want to say. Rich and I've done, I mean, most of the stuff here is Rich's work that I'm showing. So, it's, anyway, so let's see.
Are you able to share?
It says host is disabled screen sharing. So what do I do?
1 second. I'll be able to change that. All right. Try now.
Okay. There we go. All right. Now let me see what screen I want to use here. I think. Okay. So we're going to just start out right with since we're talking about the weather, we're going to start right out with this crazy video, if I can find it. Where is it here? It's this one. So can you see this okay?
Absolutely.
Yep.
Right now, I was testing this earlier. I have to turn on.
Keep your eye on that guy in the car when you watch this video. It's amazing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I think I have to turn on original sound. Let me know if you can hear it, because you got to hear it too.
Got to slide it to the beginning.
Yeah, I am. Hold on real quick. Can you guys hear that? Were you able to hear it?
No.
Okay.
Try again.
Hold on. There's a control here that oh, share sound. This should do it. Let me try this. Did that work?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. All right, cool.
This is Schuylkill County. He didn't tell you that.
Yeah, Schuylkill County.
This guy, I think, dies.
Yeah, he didn't make it.
Watch the guy get out of that car. There's Amazon. There's my Amazon packages.
Amazon's in trouble.
This guy gets out of his car.
This is ridiculous. It's snow and fog mixed together, and it made the visibility down to 0. And oh, watch out! Oh,
he is so lucky to be alive.
So lucky.
Shit! Damn!
The guy in the car's not lucky.
Gone.
No.
I need to get all my shit out of my car, but it's too dangerous. And the shit's on fire. The shit. Oh, look at that! I need to get the fuck off the road! Damn! This is great!
Never stand by your car.
My car! No! Look at that fire! Oh my god!
That's a tanker truck.
Damn, this is crazy, man!
Oh.
What am I going to do about the charger? My charger! Oh my gosh! I don't know what that truck is on. Oh my god, those fires is crazy over there. I'm not going over there.
You hear the crash?
I'm gonna check out the action over here.
I guess the language is bad. That's the problem.
Woo!
We'll give him a pass.
She don't remember the car she was driving. Man, I think it's gonna. I'm gonna try to see if I can start saving people if they're hurt. So, oh my God, that fire! Oh man, I'm gonna go see if I can help someone. I gotta let you guys go. I'm sorry.
Okay, so which I see. Catherine wonders. Yeah, exactly, Catherine. I mean, the road is a sheet of ice. It's covered in snow. It hasn't been treated, and they're driving at highway speed. I mean, it's just too fast.
That's crazy.
just no reason to be going that fast in those conditions. I mean, people were not situationally aware.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, if you do get one of those situations, I feel like the worst thing you could do is stay in your car.
Gotta get away from the road.
Yeah,
It's almost like a flash flood. Go to higher ground. Just get
Yeah.
away from the road and get out of there
yeah,
if you can. I mean, you got to have your head up and paying attention because these
I can't believe
I
that
don't
car
know.
missed that guy.
I don't know, but I mean, I just don't know what the road conditions were like a mile up the road. If maybe they were better, they just ran into this patch of ice. I don't know. But if the roads were like that and they were driving that fast, I mean, they were just waiting to hit something.
Tragic.
Yeah. So that's the big story today. Is the snow squalls we're dealing with. So we'll just kind of go through. I mean, I put together a little presentation. There's only a few of us. I'll keep it moving pretty fast through this. So let's see. So here's so just real quick, just to understand where we're at for this time of year. We're at the end of March. The average high today is 50. Obviously, we're not going to get close to that. Today's the last day with an average low of 32 until November 19th. So that's kind of interesting to know that our hitting freezing now is a below average day from here on for several more months to come. Last month at this time we were averaging 40-24, so we've gained a little bit on the highs and a little bit on the lows. It's a slow process. The warm up from February through March is not super fast. It's a little deceiving compared to what we normally think. Usually we think March. I mean, people were itching to get into spring, but it doesn't really warm up too fast in March. But April's a different story. April, by the end of April, we're going to have an average high in the mid 60s and average lows in the mid 40s. So things change quick from here on out. So that's really good news. One of the things that's real interesting is, all right, we're in a really cold, snowy pattern right now. It's been that way for a couple of days, pretty anomalously cold. So it got me thinking, what are some of the best snows we've had late in the year? And I came across the Palm Sunday snowstorm in 1942. That's really across for the Mid-Atlantic area. This is really our benchmark for big, late season snows. Baltimore had 21 inches of snow. Here in State College, we came in with 30.5 inches over 2 days, a 13-inch on the 29th and 17.5 on the 30th. Pretty impressive storm for this late in the year. You imagine if we had that now, it'd be pretty crazy. So that, and again, it goes to show you how fickle things are at this time of year. Just a week after that, we had a high of 79, and then a few days after that 79, we had another 5.5 inches of snow here again, and even a couple days after that, we were back into the 70s and almost 80 again. So that was a roller coaster period of weather. We're kind of going through a roller coaster period of weather right now, and pretty interesting to see. I did a quick reanalysis on this, and you can see, looking at the height field for that storm, we had the 500 height. We had a deepening trough movement, and almost somewhat similar to a trough, cold trough that we're having now, except the head of the trough we're having now, we didn't quite have this the synoptic setup that we did, like to produce a storm. But we had a cold wedge of 850 air with a tight temperature gradient, and the 850 right on through the atmosphere, pretty tight thermal gradient. At the precipitable water, we actually had a nudge of pretty high PW water that was shunt out ahead of this trough that got in here. We had some almost 1 inch totals right into the Delmarva. So we had some moisture to deal with, and then we had a very weak surface low. It wasn't a strong low. This was Thursday on the 29th by 12Z. We were spinning up a low here, and you can see plenty of cold air to the west. Marginally cold, not cold like we're seeing now, but sub-freezing, so that if we were able to precipitate and we could go isothermal for a few thousand feet, it would fall as snow, and that's exactly what happened. And a decent wedge of moisture. So here we are, setting the stage for a pretty snowy period here on the 29th. The morning of the 29th, it was cold and snowy in the region, and here comes the we have plenty of cold air aloft. While the moisture is starting to kind of thin out a little bit, it's still quite strong. Still pretty good amount of moisture. And here's our somewhat weak surface low here. But so to really get the real picture of this, because looking at all these fields, you're like, it's not bad. It's cold. We have a weak low, but you really want to look at your U wind anomalies to see what's going on. And here it is. We had a strong anomalous easterly flow at 850. Boy, if we could ever get this kind of flow, this is what we've been missing with all of our storms this winter, with these kind of good anomalous east flows. I guess probably the last one we had was last December, year ago December probably. But
Yeah.
pretty good easterly flow, cold conveyor belt snow. Only 30 inches of snow for State College out of this, so not a bad setup. So 1942 is that's a pretty cool setup for a heavy snow event. I just plucked this out of XMACIS today. This is number 1. I looked at heaviest snows after March 25th, and so we've had a few, not a lot, but the closest, the most recent heavy snow we've had was in 1984. On the 30th, we had 13. We had over a foot of snow on March the 30th, 1984. But since then, really, you have to go back to.
The 1928 storm's fake.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, I did a
Okay.
a study on warm season snows about 10 years ago or so,
Mhm.
and I looked at if you look at the snow on the ground, they just converted 10. It snowed for like 2 days, and they just gave it 10 to 1. I forgot someplace in Adams County. I think they had like 30 inches of snow. But if you ever look at their reports and their on their climate data that they reported every day, they never had more than like 2 on the ground.
Okay. Yeah. Well, that's not. Yeah. I mean, I guess we probably had 10 inches of snow here the last 2 days. Then
Yeah. Well, no, my water wasn't that bad. But
No,
yeah,
probably not that bad, but more than we're going to show on our records
yeah,
because we're doing it the right way.
yeah, I would put an asterisk next to that
Okay.
1928 storm.
Yeah. Well, I'm guessing 1984 is
That's
probably
legit.
legit, and 1942. I mean, this was Baltimore, so it's probably pretty legit.
Yeah,
So
looks like some leaves on the trees already.
yeah. So cool. All right. So we know that this time of year the weather can be really anything. We can have the 75-degree weather we've already seen this. Or 70-degree weather we've already seen around here this year. Or we could be shoveling snow. Usually it's something in between. So the first thing I wanted to show you for today was just going back in time and looking at the one of the tools we're using in our office now. Just a quick parameterization, a tool that looks at low-level moisture, low-level winds, and comes up with an index, unitless index for the snow squall parameter. And if you were looking at this, it lit up across the area. This is for this morning, so you can see across Northwest PA we have a pretty high snow squall parameter, and it really phases out here this afternoon, and we're done. But that was a good sign that we had something abnormal happening, because so you can see that might be it for the season. I think we've said that a couple times already, but seasonality is really going to be working for us. So real quick, looking at the radar right now. So here's the radar. You can see these large snow squall warnings that we have in effect right now. So you can across a good part of the area, and really we have one more decent looking snow squall pattern. Whether or not that gets here or not, we'll have to see. But you can see on the radar here that still one pretty good one crossing I-80 right now. So that's a good warning for snow squalls. I got to think that there was some. Oh, this is reloading here. So let's see. I wanted to try the Weather Service radar page because I heard it's gotten better, but I don't know. Honestly, it's still looking pretty messy to me. I don't know. We got warnings popping up and leaving and coming, so I don't know what's real. I don't know which warning is real right now and not. But suffice it to say, there's snow squall warnings in the area, and we do have some squalls that are still making their way through. So we got that. let's see. Looking at the satellite could be kind of worthwhile just to look at this morning. If we look at the visible, since this is Penn State, I'm going to use Penn State satellite viewer, not Illinois. So here we go. Here's our. Let's put the last 2.5 hours on, and just you can see the short wave that's barreling through. It's actually coming through right now. Pretty strong wave going right through Pittsburgh right now. I know they're having some heavy snow through there. A couple little other bands of snow that will be making their way through. And once this goes through, we're on to better weather, hopefully. But we have to look at the next weather system carefully here, and that's what we're going to look at next. So moving on to the weather. We're going to look at the Jeffs and a little bit of the EC ensemble and just kind of get an idea what's coming our way. Rich and I have been working on some of his old graphics pages, so we'll start out with that. I don't think I have the 12Z in yet. Oh, I do. So the 12Z just came in, so let's look at the 12Z Jeffs and see what we're at right now. So we'll start out with just the U.S. Let's just look at the 500 real quick just to get an overview. Actually, I'm going to look at North America because I want to see what's going on over the Pacific because it's kind of interesting. So if we go to the North American scale here, so you'll see right now at as of 12Z this morning, we have two big troughs over the United States that we're dealing with. We've got this very, very beneficial trough coming into California, bringing big, much necessary precipitation. Not enough to fix all their problems, but anything helps. We've got a big warm up ahead of it. I saw record highs for Denver today, and this area of mild air is going to be expanding and moving east. We'll see that here in a few days. And of course, we've got this super cold 500 millibar and upper level trough over the area. And in front of that, we have a pretty strong wedge of ridging that's going all the way in, almost into the polar area there. So pretty high heights. I mean, 552 heights right into Greenland right now. So that's a very, very strong warm air up there across the poles right now as well. So that's what we're looking at. Let's put this into motion here. So one thing you're going to notice, this California trough moves through, and that ends the precip in California, sets the stage up with all that mild air and moist air ahead of it, and a cold trough coming in for a pretty significant severe weather event tomorrow and into Wednesday starting in the plains and then moving into the southern Gulf states here. So this is by during the day Thursday. So you'll see pretty good pattern for convection and severe weather across the plains and into the southeast. And then ultimately a pretty strong weather system for us, and we'll look at that closer. And we'll have to look at the winter weather potential because I know Rich has a big day on Wednesday. Without getting into details of Rich's day, we need to get a good forecast for him on Wednesday. So we'll take a look at that. So this is, you'll see, this is, on Wednesday, nothing, we're somewhat ridging at this point. So pretty strong warm and aloft with that. So that slides through here with a strong cold front later in the week. This is by 18Z Friday. Not nearly the strength of what we're dealing with now, but we will see colder air come in. And then we go into an absolutely normal U.S. pattern with kind of, a little bit of flow. There'll be a couple weather Pacific systems coming in, and then just pretty straight up normal. Nothing too anomalous, really. To take us right into next weekend. So, then, we'll have to see if this next Gulf of Alaska trough does way out in the distance, but that's days away. So let's hone in a little bit closer on our weather here. So we'll move in. Let's just go into the east, and let's put on the P-type and start looking for some storms down the road. So this is actually, I want to go. Oh, you know what? It hasn't ran yet. The precipitation. Before I do P-type, let's go back to the 60s so we can at least see something. And then let's start looking for weather systems. So I'm going to look for quarter inch an hour over quarter inch over 12 hours, just to see what we're looking at. So here comes the big storm in the Midwest that will be convective. So this is Wednesday. Rich, this must be your little system here that you're thinking of, right?
Warm
This little
advection thing.
the little warm advection. So there's all right. So there's some warm advection. The pops are pretty low. I've seen a 1/4 inch. Let's look at a 1/10 of an inch. You know, if it is going to be sleet, it won't take a lot to cause issues. So here's our 1/10 of an inch. Better chance of getting a 1/10 of an inch of something out of this on Wednesday. So we'll have to look at the precip types here for on Wednesday with this warm advection, warm front coming through. That blows through here, and then we have a really nice, quick stretch of weather of nice weather, but pretty much to our west we have a frontal system that will not miss us, and this is coming through on Thursday. And so you'll see we have pretty high pops of getting at least a 1/10 of an inch of liquid out of it, much higher to the south, but suffice it to say we're going to have to deal with some rain on Thursday. There it is, and pretty high pops as it moves through here on Thursday and into Friday. This is Friday evening, or Thursday evening, Friday morning, and then it goes through, and you know, maybe some post-frontal showers to deal with. A pretty low chance of getting anything significant. So just to back up, this is one of my favorite things to look at. And Rich put this together years ago. We've been using this for years. Just the chance in the Jeffs. We have a 31 member Jeffs of getting a 1/10 of an inch in 12 hours, and so it's just a real nice way to visualize weather systems coming in. And as we get into wetter patterns, we can pull this up and we can look at what's the chance of getting an inch of precipitation in 12 hours. So we can run that, and you'll see the chances of an inch, certainly high across the south, but almost nil up here. So this doesn't look like a particularly wet storm, but there's getting a 1/10 to a 1/4 inch is certainly likely out of this. So that blows through over later in the week, and then we have another system coming in the fast westerly flow. There's a system coming in over the weekend we'll have to watch out for. So putting all this together, let's take a look at the plumes and kind of get an idea. Actually, let's look at the precip type real quick. Does that sound good? We'll go back to 12Z's run, and we'll hone in on the northeast and just look at our
You have to go to east.
Got to go to east. I got to make that for the northeast. I'll set that up. Okay, so go to precip type, and here's our warm advection. This is Wednesday. So if you look here, the probability of rain is pretty high. No probability of snow. Let me back up, see if I missed that. So here's where it's coming through here. So there's a little bit of a chance of snow. Certainly a chance of this is freezing rain. I'm really not too worried about freezing rain this time of year. But and there's sleet in the bottom left. Certainly, yeah, Rich, you're right. There could be a quick period of some ice pellets or something to deal with on
Wednesday morning.
Wednesday morning, right? 2-hour delay for the kids, for the school kids. Yeah, so we'll have to see how that plays out. So yeah, so this just looks at the conditional probabilities in the Jeffs, and works on something on that. So let's go look at the 12Z plumes real quick and see what they're looking at. So for State College, so here's where we're at now. Some leftover from the snow showers, not very wet. Yeah, here's something here. We got a lot of the red are freezing rain plumes, and the blues, the light blues are sleet, and there's even a very little chance of snow. But so it's picking up to a very pretty inconsequential amount of ice pellets, but a little bit more in the freezing rain. But we'll see. That'll be tricky. And then here's our storm on Thursday. You'll see quite a bit of spread in the Jeffs with that, with an average of about 1/2 inch of liquid over the next 8 days. So solid 1/4 to 1/2 inch of precip with this is, the high end there is one that approaches an inch. I wouldn't count the chance of that happening very high, but more than likely a 1/4 inch of precip on Thursday with our next weather system. And then some
Squalls
snow
coming in
showers.
right now.
What's that?
Look out your window. There's squalls coming in.
Oh yeah, here comes the next one. Yeah. Here it comes. So Yeah, and then we have the snow comes back in, so there are some plumes with some snow showers on April 1st, April 2nd. So we'll see what happens. It's still days away, but the blue plumes are not done yet, so we still have some. Will be more snow in the forecast as we head to end the week. So we'll see how that plays out. So that's the Jeffs. Got some data from the 0Z Jeffs or the 0Z Euro, which is a 51 member plot. So if we were to go look at the quarter inch to see, you probably see that the same stuff in last night's Euro run. There it is there, and so here it comes through here. So, pretty similar.
Doesn't have that warm
timing.
advection arm on Wednesday, does it?
It really does not, does it? Nope, not much at all. Yeah.
I like that.
But
I vote for that.
That's a 1/10 of an inch. Let's go. That's a quarter inch. Let's see a 1/10 of an inch.
Here's your election update.
So here's a 1/10 of an inch. So there's a little more. There's a chance of a 1/10 of an inch, Rich.
Yeah.
So yeah. So it's still there. And then here comes the system through here, and then we got the next system. I guess this one could be. It depends on the track. This could be like a little synoptic snow, possibly. Maybe, I don't know.
In the mountains of West Virginia.
Yeah, for sure in the mountains. So we'll
You'll
have to
ski and
see how-
snowshoe.
Yeah, some snowshoeing. Then if you look at the bottom, you'll see what a complete mess this all is, and the spaghetti. But you put it all together, you get some probabilities out of it. So that's the fun part of this stuff. So and then I did generate one of the plumes from last night's the temperature plume for the EC. So you'll see here's our cold. We're in the cold weather here, and then it warms up substantially. I mean, into the 60s on Wednesday. So this is what, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Then it cools off. But none of these plumes have it cooling off to anywhere close to what we're going through now. So so that's kind of the weather picture. I think we've covered a pretty good amount here. So so Matt, Catherine, anything? Rich?
Well, I did hear like I guess in Buffalo and Albany they had a record low 850 temperatures this morning. Did you see that?
Oh, no, I did not. But
Yeah,
I'm
they
surprised.
broke their record low 850 temperatures
Is that for the
Wow.
day or for a period of time or what?
for the day for this
For the
period
day.
of time in late March. Yes.
Impressive. Yeah. Yeah. No, this is legit. This is a legit. I mean, to have temperatures sitting this cold, in late March around here, we're not. We're pretty far south latitude. That we should be. So the solar side of the solar radiation should be warming us up just about every day in some capacity.
I took a walk today, and the snow on the sidewalks was outlines of the shades of the tree, and the snow in the pickup truck. You could see the bed in the cab, and the way the snow melted,
Okay.
protected it from the sunlight.
Yeah. So the sun's still working. You get this in January, the sun's not gonna do anything.
No.
Yeah. So cool. So yeah, any questions, Matt?
I don't think so. That was great. Thank you.
All right. Sure. Yeah, I'm glad to get to share this with everybody.